If you're looking at the Netgear Orbi RBKE963, expecting the ultimate Wi-Fi savior for your mansion, you are in the right place for the truth. This is a brutally honest review of the most expensive mesh system you can buy. I'll break down the real-world problems you need to know, not the marketing hype. But here's what surprised me. This colossal investment might actually be a waste of money for an astonishing 99% of people looking at it. Therefore, before you spend over $1,500, you must watch this entire review. For the best price on Amazon, click the link in my description now. This thing is a monster. 4 bands, Wi-Fi 6E, acclaimed 10.8 Gbps speed, and coverage for a 9,000 square foot castle. That's the promise. That's what you see on the box. Therefore, your brain starts to justify the cost. You think about dead zones, 8K streaming, and connecting 200 devices at once. The specs are a flex, plain and simple. But let me ask you a question. Do you have a 10 gigabit internet connection flowing into your house? Probably not. So why do you need a router with a 10 gig port? It's like buying a Formula One car to drive to the grocery store. The engineering is incredible, but you'll never, ever use its full potential. And that's the first of many disconnects between the spec sheet and your reality. Therefore, let's dive into the real problems. The setup is a perfect example. You unbox these gorgeous monolithic satellites. They feel premium. You fire up the app and it feels like you're piloting a spaceship with a children's toy controller. The interface is confusing. It guides you, but the logic isn't intuitive. For a system this advanced, you'd expect an equally advanced smart setup process. But it's clunky. Therefore, even getting started is a chore. And then you hit the first major wall, the mandatory Netgear account and subscription nag. That's right. Out of the box, to unlock features like basic parental controls or even real-time threat monitoring, you're pushed towards a paid subscription. Your $1,500 router is trying to upsell you before it's even fully working. That's not premium, that's predatory. Let's talk about the 6 GHz band, the crown jewel of Wi-Fi 6E. This is the new open highway they keep bragging about. It's fantastic for compatible devices when it works. But here's the twist. Its range is significantly shorter than 5 GHz. Those thick walls in your home, they are kryptonite to the 6 GHz signal. So, if you place your main Orbi unit in the basement and expect 6E in your attic office, forget it. Therefore, you might be paying for a cutting-edge feature you can only use in one room. It's a classic case of the specs looking amazing on paper, but collapsing in the real world of drywall and floor joists. Now, performance. When it works, it's blazing. I saw incredible speeds on a Wi-Fi 6E laptop right next to the router. It's a speed demon, and this is a massive, but consistency is its Achilles heel. The system can be oddly finicky. One day, flawless. The next, a random satellite decides to take a mental health day and drops its connection. Rebooting is the modern-day IT prayer, and you'll be saying it more than you'd like. You're not buying this for a project. You're buying it for set-and-forget perfection. Therefore, when it stumbles at this price point, it feels like a betrayal. It's the most expensive, unreliable, reliable router you'll ever own. Speaking of price, let's have an intervention. $1,500. You could buy a very nice laptop for that. You could take a weekend vacation. You could buy about 50 decent coffee makers. That's not just an investment. It's a financial commitment usually reserved for major appliances. Is your Wi-Fi really a bigger pain point than, say, a noisy dishwasher? Probably not. So who is this for? It's for the 1%. The pro gamers with 10 Gbps fiber in a smart home lab, or people with genuinely massive, open-concept properties. For everyone else, it's spectacular overkill. That's like using a fire hose to water a single houseplant. Here's another joke for you. The Orbi app telling you that you have optimal placement for a satellite that's clearly in a Faraday cage of your own making. It's the router equivalent of a participation trophy. Great job, buddy. The dedicated 5 GHz backhaul is a legitimately awesome feature, ensuring the satellites talk to each other on a private line. Therefore, the connection between units is rock solid. That's the quad-band magic. So why does the front-end experience with your devices sometimes feel less so? It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma, packed in a very expensive, glossy white shell. Let's talk about the design. They are huge. They look like futuristic monoliths, which is cool for about 5 minutes, but finding a place to put them where they don't dominate a room is a challenge. They scream, "I have a tech problem." They don't blend, they announce. Your spouse or roommate will notice. They will ask questions, and explaining that these are your new Wi-Fi pillars that cost as much as a used car is a conversation you do not want to have. Therefore, be prepared for some interior design arguments. Maybe you can tell them it's a modern art installation. To be brutally fair, when this system sings, it's a symphony of bandwidth. Streaming 4K on 5 TVs while downloading huge files and video conferencing. No sweat. The capacity is there. It handles dozens of devices without breaking a digital sweat. The 4.1-star Amazon rating exists for a reason. For those in the perfect scenario, it's unmatched. But the problems highlighted in lower reviews, the firmware quirks, the subscription pressure, the sheer cost, are very real. Therefore, the question isn't if it's powerful. It is. The question is if its power is usable and reliable for you. So, what's the resolution after this deep dive of problems? Here's the positive note you need. If you are in that tiny, elite demographic, the Orbi RBKE963 is still the king. If you have a 10,000 SQ, FT, home with a 2+ Gbps internet plan and a house full of the latest tech, nothing else on the consumer market will touch it. It is the apex predator. Its problems are the growing pains of cutting-edge technology. Therefore, the final verdict is this. Don't buy the Netgear Orbi RBKE963 because you want the best specs. Only buy it if your life, work, and home absolutely demand its specific, extreme capabilities, and you have the patience for its quirks. For the other 99% of us, there are better, more logical, and more stable mesh systems at half or even a third of the price that will deliver 95% of the performance for 100% of your actual needs. The goal here isn't to scare you away from a great product, but to ensure you make the right, informed decision. Don't buy the sizzle, buy the steak that actually fits on your plate. If, after all this, you know your palace needs this king, then get the best possible price. Click my link in the description to check the current price on Amazon.